G'day, ZiggyD here. Praise be to RNG's based Chris Wilson and Kaduku for Path of Exile Forsaken Masters has been announced. Get your hype engines engaged and readied. And let's take a look at this big teaser drop, this big outlay of information about this upcoming mini expansion pack. And GGG call them mini expansion packs, but I don't know, they're being modest, I guess, because this is massive, this is huge. Alright guys, let's switch on over. Some say that Dominus exiled the dregs of Oriath to the shores of Rayclast. No, he exiled anyone who was going to give him trouble, who was going to cause ripples in his progressive theocracy. 7 men and women, masters in their fields, stood against Dominus's tyranny. Some with words, others with steel. 7 masters forsaken, sent to die in a corrupted land. 7 masters who lived, learned, and now thrive in Rayclast. 7 forsaken masters who can train you if you choose to help them. Welcome to Path of Exile Forsaken Masters. Ah yes, so there's going to be 7 of these randomly appearing NPC masters throughout Rayclast. So far 2 have been announced. We have Haku the Armor Master and Varichi the Master Assassin. Now, each one of these will have a different theme, and they will give you different missions, or training missions, or actual, missions, to do certain things based on the type of character they are. So, for example, Haku will ask you to cleanse an ancestral area and recover a lost Karui spirit, and Varichi will train you in the art of assassination. Now, there are a ton of different variations in these missions. You have, Varichi might encourage you to hunt down and kill a target and kill all of the witnesses, or he might encourage you to just hurt a target and then rob him to kind of put the fear of death into him. And there's going to be a lot of different variations, dozens apparently. So there's essentially going to be these randomized missions all across Rayclast, including maps and, in all of the rest of the content. And you'll be able to earn these masters' trust by doing these different chores for them that will randomly spawn around. So this is awesome. This is like adding a lot of extra depth and interesting randomization to the game. Your run through mud flats might not be very eventful, but then a later run through mud flats could have Varichi spawn and ask you to target down this hiding someone nearby or something like that. So that is pretty exciting. And doing these, I don't know exactly what the rewards specifically for the missions, but it says gaining the trust. And that's when you get into the really exciting parts of this expansion pack. Customizing your hideout. We'll now have our home base, we'll have our little house, our little hideout, which will have stashes, and the masters, the NPCs will, once you've gained their trust, will come to this town, they will be there, and they will allow you to engage in crafting. But first, they also can act as vendors as well, so you can sell things to them, or you can purchase things off them, including skill gems, and even unique items, it suggests. So, sort of like an advanced NPC with, some interesting extra loot in it. So that's going to add a lot as well. And then, the biggest thing to get hyped about for this patch is new targeted crafting. So we get these crafting benches that we'll be able to upgrade. Each of the 7 masters specializes in a different type of base item and crafting. So for example, we have someone here, I don't know who, probably Haku or someone, and we have the option on this helmet of crafting 25 to 30 strength, 55 to 64 max life, 4 to 8% weapon LE, so you can get off slot things, and it looks like the box can scroll down a little bit as well, so you can even add more things there. You notice the costs here, like 3 Alps, 3 Chaos, 5 Chaos. Now, these are, like a little bit expensive, but they're guaranteed sorts of crafting, so it's a way of bypassing the RNG, and GGG have been adding this in a lot lately with different vendor recipes to get specific things like move speed on boots, or +1 skill gems on your wand. Now this is going to be another form of targeted crafting. You can spend a little bit more, pay a little bit of a premium maybe, but you get guaranteed results. And it's also a way of further enhancing gear that you already have. As you can see here, there's light blue text, and this signifies a mod that has been added by one of these crafting masters, one of these masters. So what happens then is you can actually re-roll this stat if you decide you want to change it at a later date. Let's say you get 55 life on the first roll, but you really want to max this item out. It's a really good item. So you're going to maybe spend another 3 chaos and have a chance to roll, closer to 64. You get 62. That's good enough. Maybe you get 58. I want to push it a little bit more. I got a fair bit of currency and I want this item to be perfect. So you chuck a few more chaos into it, and before you know it, you have no money left. But you have a sick item. So that's pretty cool. That is actually very, very cool. I'm insanely hyped about this sort of targeted crafting. because added like extra currency sinks and extra ways of bypassing RNG, but still having it be that dropped rare items are still going to be the best items. This is an enhancing system on top of that is very, very exciting and very good for Path of Exile, I think. Both of these things, like, insanely good for Path of Exile, I think. Now, I'd like to point out 2 unique flasks here in this little screenshot. ZiggyD like to sprinkle these little teasers in. So that's a life and a mana flask. Who knows what they'll do, but we'll find out eventually, I'm sure. They said there's going to be 16 new unique items, so I assume that's at least 2 of them. I can also see Headhunter in there. And we also have this gem just here, which I'm assuming is Generosity. The new support gem, which increases the effect of your auras on party members, if I just scroll down there, but prevents the auras from affecting you. So this is essentially either an aura bot character, or if you have a very well designed party, you'll stack different auras that complement each other. Let's say I'm a Righteous Fire character, haste doesn't really benefit me that much, but it'll benefit a lot of my party members a great deal. So I'll run a very powerful version of haste with the Generosity gem and supply them with a bunch of haste. And one of those in turn maybe doesn't really need vitality, maybe he's a CI character even, and he runs Vitality with Generosity, giving me a lot more extra regen. So there's a lot of potential for good party synergy there in pre-designed parties and people that think and strategize together. So that's, I think, a very good thing. And here's another part that I'm very personally excited about: new bow stuff. Tornado Shot fires a piercing arrow that fires arrows in all directions upon impact. I can imagine that this will have a built-in pierce, so you can't chain or fork or anything like that. But because it has multiple projectiles, and I'm sure it's going to be a projectile, you can probably fire multiple instances of them. I'm very excited to play around with this sort of skill. It seems pretty. It seems like it'll be pretty fun. You know, firing one of these in the center of a pack, having an explosion, and then throwing arrows out in all different directions is pretty rad, I think. So I'm looking forward to playing around with that. And then it says they're overhauling many of Path of Exile's curses, so there's going to be some changes there, and added some new ones such as Poacher's Mark. The name of this suggests to me a bow supporting curse as well. So I'm very excited to see that. These two things together kind of suggest to me, as well as later mentioned changes to the ranger area of the tree, do lead me to believe that there are some significant bow buffs or changes happening. So very excited for that. I was planning on doing like a 7-day magic find project at the start of the new leagues, but these leagues are so exciting by themselves that I might just rock a bow character and just play as much of the new content. And I'm so hyped to make a bunch of content, like videos for this new content and these new crafting and bow things and all this cool stuff. So that is very exciting. Another piece of info here: Herald of Ice and Herald of Ash are self-buff skills that reserve some of your mana pool to add elemental bonuses to your attack. These sound very similar to Wrath and Anger, and this leads me to believe that Wrath and Anger might be getting removed and replaced with these buffs instead. This might be the fix for this side of the game here, which many people view to be a bit problematic. And essentially the idea then would be that they can't benefit from all of the aura nodes, so you would make a character with maybe Inner Force or something, but that's the limit of what you can do to scale it further based on that sort of powerful scaling. So I don't know, maybe that's a change, or maybe it's going to be something that functions a little bit differently. But I reckon they're probably going to be removing Anger and Wrath and replacing with... Oh, actually, it's Herald and Ice. It's Herald and... It's Ice and Ash. Okay, then maybe it's in addition, because this is actually a little bit different here. So maybe it's an alternative to running auras, running a buff instead. That's interesting. I wonder. I thought this was lightning, and then I just realized it says ice, so that could be very interesting. We have just the names of the new leagues so far. Rampage will be the standard league, and we'll have more info on August 8 about that. And Beyond, is going to be released more on August 15th, and that'll be the Hardcore Challenge League. It doesn't say exactly in here, I don't think. But these challenge leagues last for 3 months. We'll be starting a second set of challenge leagues in December. So they have confirmed that there's going to be 2 sets of 3-month challenge leagues, like Chris Wilson suggested in one of the previous podcasts. So that is a pretty good thing, I think. It gives them a 6 months development cycle for the new expansion pack, so the new one could be even more epic. And it also means that we get a little bit more of a refresh through the seasons without that last sort of slow month, hopefully. So the other thing here is the skill tree is being updated. We can see a lot of changes to Witch here. The top side has been revamped severely, which is one of the sort of lamest areas in the skill tree, I think. Very few builds could make use of it, and it was an awkward area to travel through. So that's been overhauled a lot. Some changes in the Witch start area as well, and changes in the Shadow start area as well. Kind of similar pathing through here to the way the Ranger currently is. And it looks like maybe some changes over here as well, but Shadow and Witch have been changed quite a bit, and they also say that there's been some changes to the outer ranger area, which is mostly bow related stuff. So again, leading me to believe more bow changes coming. And then in case you guys hadn't seen it, they are going to be revamping some of the existing boss fights like Merveil, Brutus, Fairgraves, and some other bosses to make them more interesting and epic. So guys, August 20 we'll be doing this, and there's going to be a lot more teasers released for this. But I am very, very excited for this, more so than I was expecting to be, because I was expecting like some side missions and stuff, but I was expecting kind of them to drop like some you know, different weapon types or different armor types. That might be coming as well with the vendors, but there's this whole crafting system and even like secret bases, like hideouts on top of that. Wow, crazy. Okay, well, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. That's it for now. I'm ZiggyD, and thanks for watching.